Let me introduce to you my new girlfriend, guys. I am in love. She's a little eccentric, she's a little loud, she can be a little abrasive sometimes, but well, love is love, guys. Honey, you're making a lot of noise. Come here. Up. Good girl. Nice. All right, well, I know what y'all are gonna say. Y'all have favorite bikes, and that's cool. This is not the most powerful sport bike out there. This isn't a traveling bike. This isn't a over-the-top this or that bike. It's not really the best at anything. What it is cheap and fun. I'm naming her Dollar Store Ducati because she's a V-twin sport bike that I got for only $2,000. So the sale of Toe Cutter basically paid for this bike, and she's just a lot of fun. There are lots of like inline four screamer leader bikes. This is a leader bike, but it's nowhere near the most powerful. The CBR 1000 RR, Blackbird, all these other ones, way more powerful than this. And of course there's the SP1 and SP2 model of this, the RC51 and RC50. Also incredibly powerful, incredibly fast, but not like the best in their class, but still really impressive motorcycles. This is not that. This is just the Firestorm VTR 1000. It is 110 horsepower, loud exhaust, a growly engine, loads of torque, spins the back wheel all the damn time in the wintertime, and in the summer, it lifts the front wheel in almost every gear, just powerlifting it. There's a lot of bike. It's a lot for me to handle, but the way I figure it, I'm at the perfect age. I would have probably killed myself on this bike in my 20s, and I would definitely break my back on this bike in my 40s. Now I'm in my 30s. It's time. Honey, do you like it? What do you think of the new bike? Is it fun? Are you a good girl? Come here. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, a little Christmas present to me. I am really looking forward to touring a little bit this summer on this bike. There's a few modifications I will make this winter. So just some regular maintenance stuff and some just slight repairs that need to be done. And then, yeah. But enough of just standing here. Let's listen to her. Back in the 1980s, when everyone had a mullet and a mustache, Ducati was dominating the sport bike, superbike class. They had a V4 engine that had carved themselves out an exception for 150 extra cc's of displacement, and with that, they just absolutely dominated. Honda, which at the time was making mostly inline fours, decided that they could take this up as a challenge. They cut apart some of their previous V4 attempts and finally came out with the RC30, one of the most beautiful motorcycles ever made. Fantastic noise, fantastic performance, and it absolutely dominated for a few years. Like all good things in this life, it didn't last, and Ducati carved themselves out another exception, this time for their big V-twins. We're talking 1,000 cc's out of a V-twin engine in the same class as these other motorcycles. Honda said, hold my beer, and came out with the RC50. It borrowed a lot of what their VFR did, but came out with a lot more growl and a lot more rumble. Now, the VTR and the RC50 are not the same motorcycle, but the bones are the same. And essentially, because these are amalgamation specials and they had to make a certain amount of production bikes in order to even compete at this level, they weren't going to make their money back just selling RC50s. They couldn't demand the kind of price that a Ducati could, and honestly, they're quite over-engineered and very expensive to make. So, they cut down some of the complications. They replaced the gear-driven camshafts with some chain-driven camshafts and a few other modifications here and there. Drop 20 horsepower, and here you go. You've got yourself a VTR 1000. This bike really doesn't compare to other bikes the same generation. The VFR has hit the market now as a sport tourer, clocking out very similar horsepower figures, and the inline 4s that Honda was turning out at the same time are way above and beyond this bike. A VTR is going to get trounced at the track by any equivalent inline 4. They just don't run as smooth and therefore don't run as high and therefore don't get as much power. But what they do is deliver massive amounts of torque at any RPM, which is a lot of damn fun. It growls, it pops, it hisses, it's so loud, it's so vibrating, and it is so damn fun. Call it a quarter life crisis if you want, I don't care. Bought this bike for me, a little early Christmas present, and it is the best therapy a guy could ask for.